Bitcoin price action right now is likely going to be in a holding pattern with support at a horizontal, seen right beside me here. My finger's invisible, damn it. Right there. This blue line. And then also the sellers are stepping in right when Bitcoin gets to the weekly 10. And so we're going to go over, so see how this was a rejection failure pattern above the red line. On a larger time frame, this was just a rejection only. If I go up to the 4 hour, for example, okay, and I know I'm big, I'll make myself small here in just a second, but this was only a rejection. So the classic rejection failure pattern, it doesn't mean a higher high has to happen. It just means that obstacle price does get over it in that classic rejection failure pattern. So over here, to fill out this triangle, okay, it looks like bulls are providing support right at this 16,600 line. It's very clear that the play for sellers is at the weekly 10. What you have going on here is a perfect whale trap scenario to invite buyers to start buying, but then to cross, for example, this threshold here, get it over, get everybody really excited. Everything's going to go up. Get it over the weekly 10, get it out of this triangle that people will see later. I'm already seeing it. I can already anticipate it's going to potentially happen, but other people will talk about this triangle. They'll say, oh, it's broken out of the triangle, and then it'll come flying down. Because we know origin line rules, this likely was the last attempt. Because the next origin line down, we already know it has to be hit, and it will be hit before something significant over this line, this origin line happens. And we know from history that given that from this point here on my channel, this was November 9th, November 8th. And if you don't believe me, go back to my November 8th, 9th, and 10th videos. I was saying the whole time, it needs to interact with this origin line for a 45-day period. It's not going to race up. It's not going to fly down. Because of the way it initially interacted with the origin line right here behind me on November 9th that I'm circling, it has to go slideways around this origin line for 45 days. And then once we realized which of the versions it truly was going to take, this was the more bearish version. So this was version 3 from that video series around my origin line and the rules, right? That's when I started covering origin lines because I just knew this was going to happen. So once we knew which of the 3 general paths it was going to take, because it was then it came under this origin line, so there are only 2 possibilities. One there where it rides the origin line, it goes on both sides of it for a month, or one where it is more bearish, then at the end it tries to come tag it for the last bull trap. And when we finally knew that, we probably knew that around November, around middle of November. So it took about 15 more days. But then we knew it was option 3. And within option 3, we knew that there are 2 ways that whales end that game, or that price action ends. There are only 2 possible ways now that we identified it was case number 3. Case number 1 is it pops all the way back up to this origin line, or it gets rejected by the weekly 10 and then goes down. That's it. There are no other ways that it has ever happened, and it's happened a lot. So now let's dive in to see what the hell is going to happen on I guess, short and micro time frames, because we already know from the midterm time frames, it's following exactly what we've been going over on this channel since the first big drop on November 8th. We already anticipated this on my channel, and as price went along, we tightened the wrench on which version was going to happen with origin line interaction. So now we're in the potential bear trap version. So let's go see how fast and what dates we might be able to come up with as possibilities and key lines for this next big move down. Let's get some damn crypto and some Bitcoin. If you want to make things exceptionally simple in your Bitcoin chart, this is what you want right here. Make your chart look like that. This is Bitcoin. So new viewers, you see a lot of, if you're newer to understanding price action, it's really hard to understand people like me on YouTube. We're talking about price and making lines and go up and down and this and talking about things you don't even, know what it means. Like, the bond market, yield curve inverted and all this stuff, saying things that are just not normal jargon, right? This is easy. Look how clean this is. This is probably all you need to get the price right. That's it. You need the weekly 10 EMA here. Although I'm on, a smaller, let's go even a smaller time frame. I'm on the 1 hour chart right now, but I have the weekly 10 EMA. There are a couple ways you can do it. You could just multiply out what it would take on the 1 hour to, which 1 hour EMA would equal the 10 on the weekly. You can just multiply things out, right? But multiply by 24, then times 7, I guess. Yeah, that would work. Or you can use MTF EMA indicators. It's called MTF EMA indicator. That's what that is. There are multiple versions. You don't have to use the one I use, but they're just MTF. MTF means multi-time frame. So this can be on a different time frame than price, right? Okay, so you need your multi-time frame weekly 10 EMA, so you can be on the smaller time frames. You need a box. So it's not one line. I'm telling you, it's not one line. It's a fat line, like a tube or I'm telling you, like, you might want to get in the habit of this. Instead of drawing just one trend line, make it a fat trend line with a rotated rectangle or a box. 16,580. So I would, and then 16,685. All right, that's your second thing you need on your chart. Doesn't matter how far back or how far forward you need it, you put it, but whatever, just drag it a little forward before price. That's step 2. And here's the top of the other box, right? So this is a horizontal play. So what this is, it's a different type of trader will be looking at this to short. If we look left, it will be essentially the bottom section of all of this move, right? And it would be a failure pattern above this. So price going above that, getting rejected by here. Okay, and a lot of people will be looking at this general area for shorts, independent of using this weekly 10 EMA. Like, a lot of those people aren't even aware of it, or aware of there's a triangle forming because of the weekly 10 EMA, right? Same thing. And we have a triangle forming because of this horizontal here and the weekly 10 there. The direction it goes next, from the standpoint of it goes roughly the same direction and continuation for more than, let's say, 5 days. It's the way it leaves this, you're going to be able to tell by the way it leaves this triangle. But just realize that since you already got a fake out to the downside, which in my VIP and Discord, I already let everybody know, I expect a fake out down here, but I'll show you how exactly how to know if it's a fake out or not. And it was by using Litecoin. If you're not a part of the community, well, that's your fault. I let everybody know that, hey, if there is a downside movement on Bitcoin, it's not real if Litecoin doesn't go below this line. And look what happened. Litecoin only spent during that move 1.5 minutes, 4.5, 7, so about 10 to 15 minutes below. It only spent a 15-minute candle below. That's it. And go back to Bitcoin. Look, hours. Look, I'm on the 1 hour chart. It stayed down there for a while. So, I don't know, half hour, 1, 2.5, 3.5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It stayed down there for 8 hours. And Litecoin only 10 minutes. I think I made that a video update, so I wouldn't be able to just reference that my Discord alerts. But everybody, if you want to see how I'm helping, watch. I want to show you something here real quick. Some of how these alerts can honestly save you money, and I'm not saying my Discord necessarily. Technically, I am, but being a part of the community can really help you out. Significantly. And it could be in form of money you don't lose because you're holding Tether. That's still money earned, right? So check this out. Daily updates. I want to know if I did this. It might have been a video update. Damn. I've done a lot of video updates recently. Okay, so this one right here, I explained to my community why, and I'll show you when I did this. I won't tell you the date yet. Let me make myself small. So check this out. I showed everybody some information about price action on the left and Apple. You know, it's your trigger. Okay. 140 line was key for Apple. It's since passed it. And then on the right-hand side, I let everybody know what I'm doing. I'm done trying to sell into this rally. I'm not going to go for more upside trade. I'm done. Like, this is where I wait for shit to happen. I want it to cool down. I successfully traded to the upside. Let them know things that could change the charts, events, and futures. If people want to trade futures, I let them know, hey, I would wait until this date and this time to even consider it. And we'll backtest this. Just watch. And then spot trade for people less interested in futures in my, because I have a lot of people more interested in spot trading. It's less risky and it's less stressful. And it technically could be more profitable. And then I let them know exactly what I'm doing. Okay? Personally in my spot trade portfolio. Now, let's look on when I did this. And again, the whole purpose of doing this, I want to show you how this is stuff I can't do on YouTube. I can't help you if you're not part of the community. So this was December 13th at 2 p.m. my time. So that will correlate with my chart, right? So let's go over here. 1 hour chart should be fine. Now check this out. Now, if that was a great time, new viewers, this is where you have to subscribe and hit the bell and hit the like button and leave me a quick comment. And if a bot scammer replies to you, I will delete it. And I'll ban that person, which I've banned like 5,000 bots already, but it's just pointless at this time. All right, so that was December what, 13th? December 13th at 2 p.m., which is 1,400 hours for me. So I'm on the 1 hour chart. About right there. Okay, so I was satisfied selling into this rally. I didn't want to try for more upside. So was there more upside tradably? Yeah, if you're trading the 1 hour time frame, I mean, yeah, you could take a trade right there, breakout 2%. Okay, well, there was 2% more upside. If you're trading high leverage, that is actually one last trade. But there was only one more trade upside left. Then what happened? Bloom. And what am I doing? Holding tether. So look what's happened since then. So I give like clear direction on what I'm personally doing as well. So you can choose to at least be, you can be at least be aware, but you can choose to do whatever you want with that information, right? And I'm still holding. I'm not going to try to trade this. I don't think I want to trade spot trade now. If you're trading futures, yeah, there's always a trade. You just have to go down time frames. And there's almost always a setup. But for the time frames that you're comfortable with, right now, the ones that I'm comfortable with, such as the 15-minute and 1 hour is kind of my sweet spot. I like those two time frames for trading. And the 4 hour. Yeah, I like 15, 1 hour, and 4 hour. But anyway, it's all saying that there's no entry right now. There's a no trade situation. So what that means for this, all of my, I guess my personal indicators, some that I built, some that I haven't, they're saying if you want to enter a trade right now, because you want to make money in the next hour, don't. Not even on the 5-minute time frame. It says don't. You have to wait. If you can come down here one more time and then get a higher low, okay. Short, very, very micro time frame, short interest. However, right now, it's statistically even possibilities that it gets rejected from this area here, this wick, and comes down one more time. So longing here, not that great either, right? However, the posturing of this is technically fairly bullish because if you see this trend line over here, look, it crossed it. And it retested, here, let's zoom way in there. And it retested the damn thing. See how it came to retest that line that I just drew? So on the micro time frames, it does say it's kind of bullish. Like if I had to choose one, if I just had to market buy or market sell with 50x leverage, which way would I choose right now? If I were forced to do it. Okay, that doesn't mean I want to do it, but if I were forced, I would go long right now. But the other items that I use are saying it's a no trade zone. So what does that mean for this chart? It kind of agrees that we're going to be in a holding pattern before either buyers decide definitively to break out or sellers decide to finally attack once as price is here. Because look, sellers attacked way up here, but did they attack once price hit this line? No, purposely not. Because it's the same people who brought it up here who brought it down. They already knew where they were going to stop selling. I'm telling you, it was the same, like, it's the same sophisticated algos with hedge funds, probably tens of millions of dollars in it to trade Bitcoin, specifically in Ethereum. Bitcoin and Ethereum, they usually go together. It's the same folks, or the same algo. It might not have been technically a human being aware of it, but the same algos, right? And right now, since it's clear that the bears that drove price down, they didn't have interest in driving it lower. They allowed the bulls to defend. So that means there's going to be a logical next area where those same sellers who sold here and stopped selling here, where will they step in next? Well, we just went over that. Weekly 10 or this horizontal. So what's going to happen is, okay, they're going to step in here, but bulls are going to be too scared to attack at this line. So it's going to come up, then it's going to come down. And at that point, unless the stock market's tanking, so if the stock market is not tanking, at this second touch, it's going to bounce again. So it's probably, yeah, I think there's going to be one touch of each, and then it decides somewhere around the new year. And this right here is December 31st right here. This is what I think is getting ready to happen. So we've already had a fake out to the downside, and we already know to anticipate a fake out to the upside because of the classic rejection. So even though on so let's go to let me show you the different time frames. Watch. On this tiny, tiny time frame, you have rejection failure pattern. Classic. See that? Here, let's zoom way in so you can see it. See that? It went way up to the weekly 10, rejected. Went up to it, used it as support. Last bull trap, kablam. The same people who sold this were the exact ones who bought here. It's the same people. Or hedge fund, bought, whatever. Rejection failure pattern. But switch to the 4-hour chart. Look. Check this bad boy out. Look. What is that? That's just a rejection. No closures above. So on this time frame, if you have a rejection, and rejection failure patterns are common, extremely common, doesn't have to happen. That means, okay, draw one of the honestly the most valuable free tool in crypto might be what I'm about to show you. I am serious. I have people in my Discord who are more of the heavier traders, and they're there to trade, not just to learn, but they want my ideas on what I'm seeing in the chart so they can go trade themselves, right? That's kind of what my Discord's turned into. They want to know what I'm thinking before they trade. But anyway, but a couple of those people, I mean, I don't know if they believe me at first or not, but like they're really into this projector tool. I already know it works. It's just a question of when do you realize how well it works? It's not up for debate. This 40 crypto loves 45 degrees. Guess what also is in here? That. So this is a perfect storm for the rejection failure pattern because so many people are going to want to take on shorts here and here for two different reasons, right? And it's going to take that out, and then it's going to come down for a rejection failure pattern potentially. The reason I'm saying this is I told you earlier that the direction that crypto will go next will be which way it leaves this triangle, right? With one exception. Please anticipate a fake out to the upside as well. We already got it to the downside. We already know, or at least my Discord did, we already knew how to determine whether it's a fake out or not. And we did it perfectly. It was, well, it's not textbooks. I don't think anybody else really uses two charts I don't know. I don't know if anybody else trades like that, but I can tell if things are because the same algos that faked out Bitcoin, they didn't do it on Litecoin. They're not interested in Litecoin as much, right? So their algos aren't dictating price, especially on those fast moves that are the fake outs, because it's more retail driven. So I can already tell that Litecoin wasn't falling, so therefore Bitcoin was a fake out, right? But anyway, the same idea here. Yes, if it breaks out of here, that will be the next crypto direction for at least 5 days to a week. But because we're looking for a failure pattern above, you need it to break out and find support and then go. That right here. So I would not be macro bullish here. I would not be macro bullish here. I would be macro bullish. I mean, honestly, I would start wanting to enter. So on this time frame, I would zoom in to the tiny time frames where then it's going like this, right? Higher, low, higher, low, higher, low. But you can't see it on the. I would zoom in and I would long the second and the third higher low on the smaller time frame, like a 5 minute. There. After it comes above, comes all the way back down, bounces. The second and third higher lows on the 5 minute chart is where I personally would have interest. That's how I would play it. It's not financial advice. It might not happen, right? But that is how to put into practice what I'm saying. Next direction will be from this triangle. We've already got the lower fake out. Look out for one more fake out. That means, okay, so the fake out to the upside, how do I tell the difference? When do I become bullish? Well, I just showed you. That's what you would have to do. Is it possible that you miss your trade because you were expecting that to happen and it just goes straight up to the heavens? Yeah, it's possible. But there's always another trade. Go find another asset. Go find another crypto. Don't worry about it doing that. Just go with what you know is statistical and trade when you have an edge. Stop guessing. Stop guessing. Stop guessing. All right, now let's get on to that's Bitcoin. It's really simple, everybody. This is all we have going on. If you want a little bit more like an external chart, clearly Litecoin is it. You want to create a line like mine. You don't have to take it all the way to the end of time or to the beginning of time like I do. So I have, obviously the best Litecoin chart on YouTube. No one else has this. But anyway, and the best Dixie chart on YouTube. If I may. And what was I going to do? Oh, yeah. If you need an external chart, so this is what the Litecoin origin lines are. They work. We've already essentially proven this, right, on my channel, because I made these lines, I named them, and they work. But you need a line. You need to try to make your line like this, because this is when things will go down. This is the truth. Litecoin right now to the downside is the truth. Bitcoin is not the truth. Bitcoin is, let's fake your ass out and take your money. That's what Bitcoin is right now. It's literally just washing both sides out. It's not the truth. Sometimes it is the truth, but right now it's not. So if you want to external truth charts, Litecoin is the best one. And then US 500, which is the futures of the S&P 500, is your second best for now. The truth charts change. And this is something I go over on my daily updates, like every day. Every day. Sometimes I clarify that, Ethereum's the truth chart to Bitcoin, or Bitcoin, it's its own truth chart. There's no fake outs expected, right? Okay, so I want you to try to draw, I can get rid of this, I guess. I want you to try to draw, let's see what time frame you'd want to be on, to try to get this line as close as possible so you can use it as your truth line. Yeah, so I'm on the 2-hour chart. And this is the yearly low for Litecoin down here. Should be like 38, 40 bucks, I think. Yeah, there you go. See that? And you're going to want to try to emulate this line here. And again, I am on the 2-hour chart. So you could do this on the 1 hour or the 4 hour, but if you want to try to copy this line here, I would be close to the 2-hour chart. 1 hour, 4 hour would be fine, or even 30 minutes. It's probably fine. So the one that really gets it right is around July 13th when it hit 46 bucks. Another almost exact one is on this little guy right here when it hit 54.75. This one gets it perfectly too, right there. And this is October 9th. And then that 2 points make a straight line. That's it. Get that line on your chart. That's your truth line for downside only, not for upside. Because the weekly 10 is doing the same thing on Litecoin. Look, even though this is not a Litecoin video, I get it, but this is your truth chart for Bitcoin. So, I mean, it might be truth to the upside too, but I'm not going to label it as such. I think something else will be the truth to the upside. But for the downside, it's all about this line. Okay? US 500 for your other truth chart, and this is what I think could happen here. Anyway, this was for my VIPs, not you all. Act like you didn't see that. Okay. So one of the truth charts outside to the upside is, man, that really got close to going below there. Whoa. Oh my God, that was close. That's your cliff line, everybody. That's when crypto will fly down. Next time it goes below there, crypto will tank, period. So you want that on your US 500 chart. There won't be exceptions. So I think your truth chart is going to be US 500 because we have our bull trap zone. So for new viewers, we have US 500 futures zoomed way out. This is the all-time high of the stock market, and this is what we're looking at, right? Take that off, okay? I guess I can get rid of this line. It's out of play now. So bull trap zone. Okay, now we're going to zoom into this. So it was the top of the August rally, and it runs parallel to this line, right? That's what we're going to, so this is your truth chart, US 500. You literally just type in the letters US 500, hit enter on TradingView, it'll go straight there. Now let's zoom in to this part here, and I want to show you what your truth is to the upside. Watch. And again, new viewers, if you like what you're seeing, because I know my style is totally different than anybody else you can find on YouTube. I'm not saying I'm the best, but if you like what you see, this is the time to subscribe and hit the bell for all alerts. Okay. What I'm going to see here, I'm going to also throw on the weekly 10. The truth to the upside is it gets above both the weekly 10 and this, and use it as support, and then takes out that local high. So, for example, let's run a line here, and we know that the weekly 10 is running along it as well, this red guy, right? So you have double resistance. Structural trend line, EMA. Two different groups of people will become sellers for totally different reasons at the same exact place at the same exact time. Got a lot of buy pressure. So what that means is if the buyers who are fighting against those people selling because of this thing and this thing simultaneously, if the buyers can this is why it's the truth chart to the upside. I'm trying to explain why this will work. Just like my plan for Litecoin worked perfectly. Do my plans always work? Fuck no, they don't. Oh, that's 3 F words in the month of December. Oh no. I usually don't use F word more than once. I get one a month, but anyway. So there are two groups of people who will be selling here. What will happen is this. If price gets above and used as support and then breaks a local high, so the punch high, right? So imagine it's got to get through it with force because the people wanting it to go up, like they start selling, they attack that line. They attack it. The opposite of what I showed you on Bitcoin earlier at the blue line. They stopped at that line on purpose, right? So if the bulls attack at that line and that creates a punch high, then it will come back down because those people who punched it through, they'll stop buying because they want to see how aggressive sellers will want to pound it down. They will stop buying. They'll want to test the sellers so that it'll naturally come down. And if the sellers don't re-attack that line, guess what those bulls are going to do? They're going to pop it right above. And you're going to be able to see it cross the punch high, and that is your truth. You have true direction of crypto to the upside when that happens and not before. So if price of this of US 500 does something, like micro time frame really bullish, it just goes, does that make me bullish on crypto? No. Why? Because it has to come back down to test this. And if it falls from farther up, it comes down with more momentum, making it easier for bears to attack that. It'll go right through. That's actually more bearish. That's just a trap. That's obvious trap. Now, would it be easy to short the top of that trap? No, you can't. Unless you're the person creating the trap. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying this doesn't mean bullish for a week. It actually means you're going to pull back, and you technically increase the chance that you break down. That punch high is too much. Making sense there? So this is your truth to the upside. Litecoin is truth to the downside for Bitcoin and crypto, and the US 500 to the upside, because Bitcoin, we are expecting a fake out, and you want something else, but you want to be able to have your odds before, if this happens, you want to know your odds here, even though you can't guess there, because you're expecting here and that. You want the punch high to be taken out. Punch high, retest, support, and then boom, about right at this area is when you start getting bullish. And then when it crosses that first punch high is when it'll explode. But it's nice to know around here before all that happens with your external charts, hey, what's the chances of this coming down, getting support, and going there? Well, that's what your external charts are for. Does it give you a fantastic edge? No, but it's more information, and it'll help you make better judgment of when it comes down to land. Will it break through? Or if I go like this, boom, 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 is it done? Well, no, it's just testing and it'll go up, right? It'll give you information on when, right from so let's just go like this, boom, 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 like this. It'll give you information from here to here before you get your true signal on Bitcoin itself. So Bitcoin itself during that time doesn't tell you much in this exact moment. Oops, sorry. Right here in this area. If it punches up, you don't know. You're literally just guessing. You don't have an edge for anything. It's too hot to be shorting. Hell, you just fly up in your face. Because you're not creating that trap. Don't try to short the top of it, right? Humans could short something like that after it comes back below the 10 and gets rejected by it. And if you want an example of what that would look like, we can just go in here on the 1 minute chart. And then that same shape on a bigger time frame, that's exactly what you'd be looking for. But since Bitcoin itself gives you no information, or those external charts will give it to you here before this point on which you actually have a tradable edge. That's upside rules only. Make sense? All right. And I think that's all I want to cover on Bitcoin because it's so simple right now. There were months. October, November. Yeah, October particularly. It was messy. And then clarity started forming, and now everything is crystal clear. I don't know how it will I don't know which way it'll break up, but right now, it's totally clear. I don't need to guess because I will be able to tell once it's there. And that is Bitcoin for you. Let's move on to the live questions.